Pentagon Inspector General is looking into intelligence or lack thereof at the Pentagon. And this is referring to United States Central Command. They are doing an assessment of whether they basically doctored the reports, the intelligence, to tell us that things were going better in our fight against ISIS than they actually were. Now, we know about this already from over the summer when a lot of the analysts that were in basically doing the actual work, but not at the very top end, called out the top end and said, hey, listen, there was about 50 of them said, they're changing our intelligence. We're not saying that we're winning. That's not what we're saying. We're not saying do these solutions. We're not saying these solutions work. But when it goes up to the top, all of a sudden things get changed around. And what do we hear? Oh, we're making progress. Well, we're not making progress. So New York Times has a news story about it. They explained that they had comical rewording of some of the intelligence. Remember when ISIS attacked large cities in Iraq and the Iraqi army just dropped everything and ran? We showed pictures of their uniforms in the streets, right? They explained in the New York Times, in the revised documents, the Iraqi army had not retreated at all. The soldiers had simply, quote, redeployed. They redeployed right the hell out of town, right? I mean, you want to talk about euphemisms. Okay, so they continue to explain, such changes are at the heart of an expanding internal Pentagon investigation of CENTCOM, as Central Command is known, where analysts say that supervisors revised conclusions to mask some of the American military's failures in training Iraqi troops and beating back the Islamic State. The analysts say supervisors were particularly eager to paint a more optimistic picture of America's role in the conflict than was warranted. So we spent all that money, and all these generals, remember the Republicans will bow down to the generals, that you got to listen to the good generals on the ground, right? Well, it turns out the top generals were lying. They say, oh, that money you spent on training the Iraqi army, well done, they're great. Well, it seems like they lost half of Iraq, but no, they redeployed. They redeployed from that half of Iraq, right? And so how about all the money you spent bombing the hell out of ISIS? You told me you were making progress on that. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so more from the reporting. This past summer, a group of CENTCOM analysts took concerns about their superiors to the Inspector General, saying they had evidence that senior officials had changed intelligence assessments to overstate the progress of American airstrikes against the Islamic State, also known as ISIS. So, the military strikes are not working as well as advertised. Gee, I wonder who said that before. You see, the reason we said it is because we have eyes. We can read, we can see the videos, we see the cities falling. So the rest of the press was out there dutifully reporting what the Pentagon told them, and the Pentagon kept telling them, oh yeah, we're making progress, airstrikes, the answer is more bombing, right? But I came out here and told you, wait a minute, they just lost all these cities. If the bombing was working so great, why do we lose the cities, right? And then they told us that we were going to retake those cities when we did even more bombing. Okay, that was the point of more bombing, right? Well, we didn't retake the cities. We didn't retake them, okay? And every once in a while, the Pentagon would declare we're making great progress, and then you look into the details, and none of it was true. But the rest of the press, oh, no, the Pentagon says it, I can't question it. Finally, 50 analysts come out and go to the Inspector General and go, please stop lying about this. Finally, the rest of the press, New York Times leading here, going, it turns out, Pentagon, congratulations, you figured out the Pentagon might not always be telling the truth. This is news to the rest of the news organizations. Okay. The analysts said the problem in Iraq were rooted in deep political and religious divides that could not easily be solved with a military campaign, current and former officials have said. Yet CENTCOM's official posture remained generally upbeat. Okay. Now, don't forget that part, because later they will whitewash that part out of the report, okay? So the people that are now in Congress trying to investigate this are Republicans. Why? Now, some Democrats say, yes, this is very serious stuff. We'll investigate later. Are they covering up for Obama? Probably. Are they, some of them legitimately saying, hey, let the Pentagon do their Inspector General findings first and then Congress will get involved? Probably some of them genuinely believe that. It's a mix, right? But Republicans leading the charge here. But later, Because it's the Obama administration. It's easy, right? Yeah, Obama, you screwed everything up. Yes, right? Here, let me give you a quote from Representative Mac Thornberry, Republican of Texas. He said, anytime there's an allegation that intelligence is being shaved in a certain way or distorted in a certain way, that's a cause for serious concern. Now, he was not that concerned when the Republicans mangled intelligence in the lead up to the Iraq war. In fact, it was the same analyst complaining. Here, let me show you that part. New York Times says that investigation was prompted by complaints this past summer from CENTCOM's longtime Iraq experts led by Gregory Hooker, the senior Iraq analyst. In some ways, the team's criticisms mirror those of a decade ago when Mr. Hooker wrote a research paper saying the Bush administration, over many analyst objections, advocated a small force in Iraq and spent little time planning for what would follow the invasion. And it turns out what followed the invasion was complete and utter disaster, right? But back then, Republican congressmen, no, don't investigate political. This is political. This is outrageous. How dare you investigate the president? We're in the middle of a war. Don't investigate, right? Now he says, oh, we would always investigate. Okay, but look, that hypocrisy is obvious. Anyone who is in mainstream media can see that immediately. And both sides play it depending on who the president is. Yes, the Republicans play it more. Yes, they're more brazen about it. Okay, but that's not the part that I'm giving you a heads up on. I'm giving you a heads up on when the Republicans come out with their report, whoever else comes out with their report, they'll talk about, oh, this guy was wrong for changing a couple of words. They shouldn't have touched up the intelligence. They'll say that stuff. But the part where we say the military campaign is not the answer, it's not the long-term answer for political and religious divides that exist inside Iraq, that part's going to get washed out. Because the answer is always the military. See, Thornberry and the other Republicans, they haven't gotten the memo yet. So right now, they're just in their reflexive Republican mode. Attack Obama! It's Obama's fault. Thanks, Obama, right? So in this case, when they talk about the administration doing this wrong, they're right. I mean, the CENTCOM is within the administration. Obama's the commander-in-chief. So I agree with them on that, right? Later, their donors, who are defense contractors, will send them a memo saying, hey, you know that your investigation on the Pentagon, sure. But all that talk of the military campaigns and the airstrikes not working, let's tone that down. That doesn't seem very patriotic. And then all of a sudden, Thornberry, with his loud mouth, will not be around to talk about how the airstrikes didn't work. That part will get left out. You mark my words. Now, I told you that all these airstrikes weren't working in the first place. It turns out I was right, and the intelligence analysts agreed with us, and not with the establishment position. And I'm telling you right now, ahead of time, when all is said and done, the part that is the most important here, which is that the airstrikes and the military campaigns are not the right approach, will not be a central part of the report, okay? They're saying it now because they didn't get the memo from donors yet. Later, they'll get the memo from donors. That'll get washed out. And even when the rest of the mainstream media covers it, big headlines about, oh, redacted this, or one person or two people were, a few bad apples were wrong. They shouldn't have changed those reports. So what are we going to do going forward? Oh, more airstrikes and more military campaign. That's exactly what will happen. You'll see.